show, brother.
What's up, bro?
This is a first of many where I'm trying to literally find like-minded people as yourself, resilient people, which is going to be a common, term that we use here on this podcast, and completely selfless. I am a videographer by trade, but a storyteller at heart. And my ultimate goal is really to meet people, more people like you, and help them deliver their story, man.
Cool.
So just to kick things off, man, who is Vaughn Archer?
Hey, Vaughn Archer is a father. Vaughn Archer is a husband, a fitness trainer, a musician, a son. I'm many things, man. But at the end of the day, hey, I'm just a regular person, man. Just striving for excellence. That's all. Yeah.
Very good. What's something that people assume about you that's just completely wrong?
Some people assume that I'm just arrogant guy that only thinks about his body. But no, man, that's not the case. I think health is wealth, at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Would you say that right now in your life, in your business, are you building right now, or are you rebuilding something right now?
I would say building, still building. Life is long. We learn things every day. We have different challenges, different trials and tribulations. So it's building, man, building for greatness.
Respect. Take us back, man. So what did life look like before this discipline that you've implemented in your life?
Well, just not being focused, maybe making a few bad decisions, just not focusing in or honing in on my talents and not focusing on my passions, not pursuing my passions, so.
Was there a defining moment where these things had to change for you?
Yeah. Years ago, my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. She left me, and it was all because of, pretty much things that I was doing and choices that I was making. I was behind on my rent. My child support was stacking up, just not being an adult, a responsible adult, so I knew something had to change.
Great answer. I love that. What were you running from, or what were you running towards?
Just running towards being a better person, just running towards being a better father, being a better husband, being a better son, being a better brother. I just knew that I could be better, if that makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
What did rock bottom look like for you?
Broke. Just being broke, not being able to support, myself like I should, and just being home, wasting valuable time. Like I said, just not making the right choices, man. Just not focusing,
I feel like a lot of people, even though they don't see it this way, but like Netflix, just scrolling, that's so much time wasted.
You can sit on Instagram and scroll, and next thing you know, 2 hours pass by. You're like, oh, wow. Yeah, man. So,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So what had to change first for you, your mindset or your habits?
I would say habits. Because like I said, at one point, I was going to play basketball for hours. I'm at the gym 4 hours, 5 hours, just killing precious time, not being focused, not creating, not looking for new opportunities, not building my network, So just wasting time, man.
Absolutely.
Time is so precious, bro.
No, sports are great. I'll be honest. I used to have a passion. This is a decision that I had to make myself. So, if you've seen any of my recent videos, I used to be I would say almost intermediate BMX rider, right?
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah.
So, but I encountered a lot of injuries, right? And I would find time. I would make excuses to go, ride my bike 2-3 hours at a skate park, or even just outside doing,
It's killing time.
And I had to make that decision myself as well after one of my most recent injuries where I separated my shoulder.
Ouch.
I broke my ankle, and I had a baby already. I had to make that decision that I can't just throw everything to the side just to go ride my bike, even if it's exercise, so have you. It was becoming a liability.
Yeah, we got to be an adult. Yeah.
That's it. Period.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about, what does discipline actually look like nowadays for you in your daily life?
Well, I'm going to say the main thing is just waking up early. The early bird gets the worm. I wake up early. I'm ready to go train or work out or do whatever I have to do. Not drinking, during the week, and I've also cut back during the weekends. But I really focus on not drinking during the week because I wake up so early.
Yeah.
If I drink, then it makes me slow, makes me lethargic. I don't want to do anything. You wake up with a hangover. You're not as productive as you would be, if you didn't drink.
You don't bounce back as like you used to.
Waking up early, going to bed early. I don't like to hang out late at night. I hate it. I'm not productive. I like to get up early, like I said, and get to it.
What would you say right now people just do not understand about becoming consistent?
Man, the consistency is the key, first of all. Like, I've been working out probably over 30 years. Some people think that they can shortcut and get to a certain level. No, you got to just stay consistent, keep going, don't stop. And it makes you a better person. It makes you, helps you reach your goal by staying consistent. Don't give up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not easy, but if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Now, obviously, with consistency, certain consistencies come sacrifice, right?
Correct.
What sacrifices did you personally have to make in order to, create this consistency in your life?
You got to sacrifice having fun. You got to sacrifice hanging out. You got to sacrifice some relationships. Everybody's not going to be on the same page that you're on. They're not going to understand, where you're headed. And, you just got to break some of those people off or stop hanging out with them and, to focus on your goal.
Right.
I would say just, hanging out with some friends, a lot of friends.
Now, I would say that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to cut off from having friends, right? Having a good community around you is super important, but the 5 people that surround you have to be...
Bingo. Right there. If you hang around 5 bums, you're going to be the 6th bum.
That's right.
You hang around 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th millionaire.
Absolutely.
And I really believe in that. Your circle is important.
100%. Let's talk about fatherhood and legacy, right? So how did becoming a father change the way you move nowadays?
Well, becoming a father lets me know that I have to be very aware of the choices and decisions I make in life. You make one wrong decision, it can set you back for years, 10 years, or even shorter sometimes, a year. But one wrong decision, one wrong choice can mess up everything. I keep that in mind.
What kind of example are you trying to set every single day?
Well, just being resilient, man. Just keep on pushing. No matter what's thrown at you, no matter what hurdles you have to cross, just stay resilient, stay consistent, and keep going, no matter what happens.
Now, this next question can be more towards the new father to be, right? They're waiting for their first child, maybe their second. They're a father of a youngster, right? So maybe 1-2 years old, right? What would you say scared you personally most when becoming a father, or maybe you were just waiting for your first child?
Just being a good father, being there, for my sons. I was like, man, I got to make the right decisions. Like I just said, the right choices. I want to be there. I didn't meet my father till I was probably 26 years old, my real father. Yeah. I had father figures in my life, but I didn't really have a father like that. So I just wanted to make sure I was there for my sons and being able to provide for them and teach them, and help them make the right decisions in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, a lot of people say, I hope to leave a legacy behind, but sometimes it's not always money or success. What does that mean to you?
Man, I just want them to be able to recognize and realize you have to try your hardest. You have to try your hardest. You have to remain resilient. Like I said, you got to keep pushing and just not give up. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. But you just got to keep going.
Leaving a good legacy could also mean, leaving good morals behind.
Yes.
Right?
Morals, good character, things of that sort. I mean, keep going, man.
Let's talk about your message and your brand, the Vaughn Archer, right? So you say that you inspire growth. What does that really mean to you?
Growth mentally. I'm all about evolution. I'm all about being the best version of yourself. I'm not perfect, but, I do push being a better version of the person you were yesterday, and self-love. Self-love is so important. Without self-love, you can't give love. If I don't love myself, I can't give somebody else love.
100%.
So I think the world needs a little more self-love, less hate and more love.
There we go. And so you're pretty active on social media, right?
Yeah.
So I respect that. Who are you speaking to when you post your content?
Well, my content is mainly about just motivating and inspiring. I'm speaking to somebody that may have been depressed or going through depression. I'm speaking to them to just keep going and push yourself, self-love. I'm speaking to people from Fort Lauderdale, where I'm from, that maybe you're at the bottom right now, they're trying to rise up. I'm speaking to them. I'm trying to motivate them, Speaking to fathers, I post videos with my sons all the time. I'm spending time with my sons, giving them new experiences. Speaking to the husbands of the world, it's hard, to be a husband, try to be a good husband. So, I'm just out here promoting and pushing that, man. Yep.
What's something, I feel like a lot of men, they walk around, they just have to feel like zip it and just kind of just, tunnel vision and just continue doing their thing. But, what's one thing you wish more men talked about openly?
I think more men should talk about, and I still struggle with this myself, but talk about their emotions and how they really feel.
Yeah.
You got to let it out,
Be a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah, a little, and not, like I say, that's something I'm working on, being more vulnerable, Sometimes we hold stuff in, and it might make us act a certain way. You ever mad at one of your friends, you want to tell them something, and you don't tell them, you hold it in, and then at some point, it blows up. Even with my wife, sometimes I hold stuff in, and I get angry sometimes or upset, and it comes out the wrong way. So I believe if I would have nipped it in the bud if I would have just expressed myself earlier, So I think that's important.
Now, respect to the, the friendship part, right? I believe that obviously a good relationship, like communication, is key. But if you can do that with your wife, I think you can do that with your friends as well, right? Not, you don't have to just sugarcoat things just to keep a friendship.
Correct.
I have a good example of a friend. I've been going through my own addiction journey where I have been sober from marijuana for about 5 months now. And I had a friend come into my car, and they had this little, cartridge vape, and I looked at him and said, "Hey man, just to be honest, I'm going through my own little journey." And I didn't tell him to stop, right? I just told him, "Look, I don't want anything to happen to you," right? And I felt like the approach, right, as a friend, I was just very honest with him, and I told him, "Look, I believe that God has only given us one pair of lungs, and I just want you to know that these are some health issues that I personally started going through because of it, not only up here, but in here as well."
Correct.
And I remember, we were in the car, he put it away, and later on that night, we went to the gym. After we left the gym, he stayed back a little bit, and he grabbed the cartridge. He filmed a video, right? He grabbed the cartridge and threw it in the garbage and sent me this long message saying, "Hey, man, no one's ever been real with me like that before. I appreciate it. You're a good friend." And, that resonated with me because I felt like the same way with the gospel, like you can share your testimony with that. Certain things in your life can also help people see that they're not alone and that they just needed that little, little push. Right?
Yeah.
So that's one of my biggest defining things, that knowing that the decision that I made personally
Help
for me,
exactly,
helps someone else.
I have these conversations with my family members, my friends, just about different things. Vaping is one of them. Hey, I tell them, bro, that's not good, or maybe you're drinking a little too much. Maybe you need to cut back, or maybe you need to start working out a little more. I have these types of conversations with my people all the time.
They just got to stay open to it, because not everyone's going to accept it the same way.
That's most important. Some people are not ready for that, and you just got to be careful with that.
That's right.
And it's not you, they're just not ready for that conversation. They might come off offensive, but it happens. And I've been in that situation also. I told somebody something, they just come off defensive. They don't want to have any accountability for
That's right.
what they're doing.
That's
know
right.
what I'm saying? So,
they're just so comfortable, but it'll make sense to them at one point.
Change is good.
That's right. Let's talk about your future and the vision, man. So what are you currently building right now that people aren't seeing yet?
Man, I'm just trying to focus on my creativity and my passions. Wherever my passions take me, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm pursuing.
Let's talk a little bit about your book.
Yeah,
the Von Archer Effect.
The Von Archer Effect. This book tells a little bit about about my life, about my struggles. It's all about being resilient. I started from the bottom, living with my grandmother and 5 other siblings. We were on welfare. We struggled. So this book kind of talks about starting there and building up my fitness company, and training some celebrities in the industry. And just staying resilient.
Now, I was today years old when I found out that you had a comic book as well.
Yes, the Black Archer. Yes, this is about, basically I made myself a superhero.
I love that.
So I go around fighting against companies that try to poison us. Pretty much, they try to give us processed foods. They try to give us foods that have too much sugar in them. So the Black Archer basically fights all of those people and tries to show the kids how to eat healthy food and work out and stuff like that.
Now, would you say that between the two books here, you're probably speaking to an older demographic,
Correct.
and this is more for like kids,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah,
But talk to me about your logo.
My logo is, my last name's Archer, so that's what that is. It's an archer, basically just aiming for excellence, man. I spoke to my graphic designer and I said, listen, man, I want like a bow and arrow, but some that represents health at the same time.
Right.
And the bow and arrow represent, aiming for excellence.
Got it. Yeah, I see the abs in there. I was probably
Right.
So, I mean, are both of these books, right? Do you feel like this is strictly about fitness, or is it just something way beyond this? Is something bigger?
Yes, it's about fitness, but of course, there's something way bigger. It's just about being in tune with yourself. It's about not giving up. Just keep, no matter what life throws at you, just keep going, man.
What does success actually look like for you?
Success is being able to go on vacation with my kids, with my son, and give them new experiences. Also, teach my sons new experiences, show them new experiences, and just being able to live how I want to live, being free.
I love that.
Yeah, being free, being able to do what I want to do.
Free with yourself too.
Yeah,
I believe
exactly.
there's a lot of people who, they need to celebrate certain things in their life,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like, hey man, I was literally able to, whether maybe they run a business, I was literally able to spend time with my family.
Bingo.
Right.
Yeah.
When I quit my job, one of my biggest when I quit my first job in 2018 to pursue my career, which is obviously video production and so on, was to be able to spend more time with my family, not having to see my child grow up from a FaceTime call. Right. So I felt like at some point I did reach that particular goal. But in summary, in closing, brother, and first and foremost, man, thanks again for being part of this. This is the first of many, and I really appreciate that, Vaughn. And I know that with this episode itself, it's going to help a lot of people just kind of see a different perspective in life just from your stories. But to start summing up, this episode, what's one piece right now? There's a lot of people stuck in life right now, right? But they're going to watch this video. What would you say to that person right now that's stuck right now today? Like, what's one piece of advice that you would tell them?
Focus on the good parts of your life, right? Don't focus on the bad things. We all go through situations. We all go through trials and tribulations, but you need to focus on something that makes you feel good. Focus on something that makes you feel good and do something that makes you feel good. Do something that makes you happy, no matter what it is. Going to the gym, putting on a new outfit, doing your hair. Just focus on the things that make you feel good.
Can you touch on some of those things that make you personally feel good when you're going through that? The
gym. That's my go-to. Yeah. Going to the gym. If I'm ever feeling doubt or anything, I go to the gym. It makes me feel good. It gets my mental right. It gives me mental clarity. And all those endorphins that have been released help me to feel good.
I love that. Your family too, I'm sure.
Family, my
100%.
son, my wife, just having a positive supporting system. Even my wife's parents, they always support me. My mom, my aunts, my brothers, everybody supports me. It feels good. And like I said, it's a positive supporting system.
What's one habit that people need to start today?
Go to the gym now. Stop waiting. Stop putting it off. Stop saying, I got to do this, I got to do that before I go. Just go.
People wait till it's too late.
Right.
Till they have a heart attack, and then they're not able to probably even go to the gym after that. But people wait until it's too late to make a change.
Go now. Today. Now.
Even if it's Planet Fitness. Even if it's Planet Fitness. Get a $10
Even if it's a park.
A park.
100%. I was living in, where was I? Clearwater, I think this was a point my girlfriend that left me at the time. I didn't have enough money to get a gym membership. I would go to work and go to the park, do my pull-ups, do my push-ups, dips at the park.
The most underrated place to get fit.
That's all I had. 100%. That's all I had at that point, going to the park. So just start. No excuses. Start. Do something.
And this is a good mic drop for you, brother. If your child watched this episode 10 years from now, what would you want them to really take away from this episode?
Hey, my dad was a real one. My dad is resilient. My dad didn't give up. He kept pushing for greatness. That's it, man.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Vaughn Archer, the Vaughn Archer Effect, man. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Hey, before we wrap up, can you share with the public, with the viewers, where they can find your book, just your other channels, your website?
Boom. The Vaughn Archer Effect. You can find that on Amazon. Just type in Vaughn Archer Effect. It pops up. I have the hardcover, I have a soft cover, and I also have Kindle. My Instagram is That's Vaughn Archer. And my fitness Instagram is Vaughn Archer Fitness.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, this is the first of many, man. I really appreciate you being part
Congrats,
of this.
man. Congrats.
And I hope that this
Congratulations.
message meets, reaches the people that need to reach.
Yes, sir.
And, it's all up from here.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Blessings.